Hey guys, it's Holo Bass. A couple weeks ago, I uploaded a new song called Unity to celebrate both a year of the Hololive English girls who meant so much to me and inspired so much of my music, but also a year of Holobase since it was my own anniversary as well. The reception was really good, and I know a lot of you guys miss me and my music. Truthfully, I've also missed doing Hololive music, but I wasn't sure if I could go back to it. At the very least, I wasn't going to be able to come back without making this video. When I deleted all my music, I also deleted my update videos explaining what I was going through. Now that everything's gone, a lot of people are confused, wondering why I left or what happened. There's also rumors going around that are based on misinformation and a lack of context. So today I wanted to share what happened to Holobase. This channel used to be called Shinobi Bass. I've been a DJ for over 9 years, and this channel was one of the channels I made to share my mixes. In 2019, I left for school to earn my diploma in music production, but over the course of the school year, I started falling in love with Hololive. I'd stopped DJing so I could focus on my studies, but once I graduated, I was ready to get back into it. Shinobi Bass was themed around Senran Kagura, but since that obsession had been exchanged with Hololive, I rebranded this channel to Holo Bass. I wasn't intending to upload any original music to the channel, but Matsuri posted a video of her chanting EDM, EDM over and over, and I was inspired to sample it. I initially tried to focus on DJing, but after Hololive English debuted, I didn't want to do anything but watch them all day. And eventually they started inspiring my music, and Holobase slowly became more of a producer than a DJ. Pop on Rocks also started getting really big in November and December, and people wanted to hear more stuff from me, so eventually I stopped uploading mixes entirely, and Holobase just became my music alias. A lot of people think you can just upload music to Spotify, but that's not the case. Streaming services and online stores require your music to be distributed to them by a third party referred to as the distributor. When you send your music off for distribution, you're making the legal claim that you have the right to distribute that music and generate revenue from the services it's sent to. I was getting daily requests in my comment sections and Twitter notifications to upload my music to Spotify, but I consistently turned the requests down because I don't have the rights to. I haven't cleared the Hololive samples present in my music, and it's not financially practical or even feasible to clear them. I replied to commenters telling them that I can't legally distribute my music, and I even updated the Pop on Rocks video description to say that it won't be coming to Spotify. However, last December, I finally did send Pop on Rocks and a few other of my Hololive sampled songs off for distribution. If you'd like more info on how YouTube's Content ID works, you can read the text on the screen. To put it simply though, let's just use an example. Any one of you watching this video right now can abuse Content ID at my expense very easily. First, download my song Unity, which has free downloads in the description of the video. Next, send the song off to a music distributor. Finally, once the song's in YouTube's Content ID, ask your distributor to take down my video for Unity because it features your song. Congratulations, you've just abused Content ID, and there was nothing I could do to prevent it. At this point, I would have to find who your distributor is, contact them to explain you're a fraud so they suspend your services, file a legal dispute to YouTube, and pray that YouTube restores my video. If they don't, then tough luck. YouTube makes it impossible to get in contact with them if you aren't a massive company with financial leverage or like someone with 1 million Twitter followers and you can just harass their Twitter account until they respond. You, the guy that stole my music, you suffer no legal consequences whatsoever because I can't afford to press charges and I have the potential to lose my whole YouTube channel once I've suffered 3 takedowns. That's 3 channel strikes and then boom, the channel's gone. Now let's take that a step further. Let's say I sampled a Hololive stream to make a catchy rap song that went super viral. Let's say it got a ton of views on YouTube, big enough for the Hololive talents to notice it themselves. Then let's say that someone downloaded that song and sent it off to a distributor. Now, what if that song shows up on one of the official Hololive streams? What if Callie decides to try rapping it during karaoke? Or what if a fan game uses it as background music and the game is played during one of the streams? It would really suck if some random guy that I don't know and can't get into contact with was the one in control of the YouTube content ID for that viral song, right? Actually, it'd probably be a really good idea if I was the one in control of that content ID so I could personally ensure that it isn't abused by anyone. Pop on Rocks had over 1 million views when someone by the name of Pelina Rocco sent the song off to streaming services, music stores, and content claiming algorithms. I contacted the right parties and got the song removed, but I was then forced to the tough choice. I had to make the decision to either A, break international copyright law and distribute my music to protect it, or B, continue to do nothing, allowing the same situation to potentially play out again in the future, but with actual consequences that time. Both options are unfair, but that's the nature of creating fan content online. Fan artists are illegally reproducing the likeness of protected characters every time they draw fan art. Blizzard reminded the internet of the harsh reality of copyrights by issuing cease and desists to artists and animators who were producing pornography with Overwatch characters. And Nintendo's notorious for taking down fan games featuring their more iconic characters. Of course, there are many studios and companies who are permissive of fan content or even encourage it. Adversely to Nintendo, Sega's built a rather positive reputation for themselves by allowing Sonic fan games to flourish online. For Fans by Fans is an apparel and collectible company who officially license fan artist designs to be used on merchandise for sale through their store. Cover themselves are rather accommodating to fan content, all things considered, since pretty much any non-profitable fan works are allowed to be produced and shared online. That's the part where most companies take an issue though, the for-profit part. Me distributing my music means I'm now generating revenue from it, and there's no way to disable that. Protecting my fan music means I'm profiting off of Cover's intellectual property. It's a lose-lose situation. So I chose the option that prevents others from abusing my music. Legally, this was wrong, and I'm not trying to defend myself, but I hope at least you can sympathize with why I chose that option. Truthfully, if Holobase is to continue in the future, I can never distribute my music to Spotify again. There's nothing I can do to protect my music on my own, so all I can do is ask that you, my audience, understand my situation. Please don't ask me to distribute any future releases, and please don't try to distribute them on my behalf. I've had to file takedown requests for my Holobase music twice already, so please just be content with streaming my music on YouTube or SoundCloud. On April 14th, my music disappeared from Spotify after a representative from Cover filed a takedown request. My releases had infringed the intellectual property rights of Cover Corp. I was also provided the email address of the complaining party to negotiate with in attempts to find a resolution. What's strange, however, is that my music only disappeared from Spotify. My music is still available on Apple Music, YouTube Music, Amazon, Bandcamp, SoundCloud, Deezer, and tons of other streaming services and stores that I'm technically generating revenue from every month. It was only Spotify that was affected. And to make things more confusing, not all of my music was even removed. Lo-fi hip-hop for Eldritch Horrors to Draw To is still on my Spotify page right now, despite also featuring Hololive samples. Beyond that, the email I got doesn't specify which intellectual property rights I'd infringed upon. So since Lo-Fi for Eldritch Horrors is fundamentally no different from the other releases that were removed, this led me to believe the track art was the issue and not the music. If all I had to do to keep my music in distribution was change the track art, this was an easy solution. So I changed the track art of the releases and contacted the claimant's email address, but I never got a response. I was worried my distributor was going to remove my releases and suspend my account, which would have meant losing my music protections, so I sent a few more emails highlighting the urgency of the matter. I also got in contact with a representative at Spotify to assist in reaching Cover, but unfortunately Cover seemed impossible to contact. My distributor decided to allow my releases to stay on other platforms and basically drop the issue since we couldn't get any clarification. This probably would have been the end of the story, honestly, but then Cover released their derivative works guidelines. I already understand international copyright law as it relates to my music, so I wouldn't normally be interested in reading those guidelines, but the way it was worded actually raised some very concerning questions. I recorded a video of me reading the guidelines and pointing out all the problems I had with them, but it basically boiled down to 3 important questions. What intellectual properties do the guidelines refer to? Why are there no permissions for fan artists to accept Hololive commissions? And why is there a line in the guidelines that implies the Cover doesn't own the rights to their own talent's live streams? I decided that contacting Cover was back to being a high priority so that I could ask these questions and more. I sent an email to a different address, used the public contact form, had my own email address personally handed off to someone at Hololive. I contacted a local law firm for legal assistance, and I even privately messaged one of the Hololive talents personally. No, I wasn't at any point entitled to a response, I get that, but that didn't make me any less determined. I had no reason to not at least try. I tried literally everything I could think of before finally going public with the details of the situation, hoping to get some advice and maybe some help from the community. Sometime in May, I recorded an hour-long video titled, "What Happened to Holobase?" In the video, I told the story of how my channel started, why I put my music on Spotify in the first place, why I was trying to contact Cover so badly, and then I ended the video with the actual questions I wanted to ask Cover. Cover was acting inconsistent and just straight up confusing. Not that that's anything new, but for some reason I thought I would be the one to finally get some clarification from them. I'd hoped that going public with the details of the situation might be enough to get their attention, but the video actually performed very poorly due to it being so long and hard to follow. By this point, I'd pretty much already accepted that I wouldn't get a response from Cover, but on May 24th, I was given one last glimpse of hope to make contact.
Maybe this will be Pop on Rocks, like you guys said. I wonder if we can get permission from the what is their channel name? Holo Bass? Pop on Rocks live.
A live performance of the song by Amelia herself was super exciting to pretty much everyone, including me. But it was also exciting in that this might finally be a way to contact someone at Hololive. If someone messaged me asking for permission to perform Pop on Rocks, I'd also be able to use the opportunity to request that my contact details are passed on to a representative at Cover who could answer my questions. Unfortunately, no one reached out to me before the song was performed. In Amelia's obvious defense, she'd literally streamed the song on her channel before, thanks to Small Ame, as had Gura and Risu on their channels, combined with the fact that Callie had done a cover of it during karaoke, and the fact I literally said in the description of the Pop on Rocks video for months that people are free to use the song for whatever they want. I didn't actually expect permissions in the first place, but she did still get my hopes up. It was literally the last way I was going to get in contact with Cover, so needless to say, I was upset when it didn't happen. So on June 5th, during Amelia's charity livestream, I made 3 tweets. If you're just listening to this video, then no worries, I'm going to read them out right now. Amelia Watson performed Pop on Rocks live on her charity stream today. I had hoped that someone at Hololive would contact me for permission, but I was never contacted. I genuinely believe that was my last hope at getting in touch with Cover. I am now finally taking the offensive. I'm tired of waiting. My music has been removed from Spotify for nearly 2 months for reasons I believe to have been resolved long ago. If Cover is unwilling to talk with me, then I'm simply going to restore the releases myself. Look forward to more details soon. If this wasn't a charity stream, I'd be tempted to claim the video for so recklessly broadcasting my music without permission. That might finally get their attention. Unfortunately, I'm cursed with something called a conscience. Anyone watching this video now has the context to understand what the first tweet means. I wasn't upset that Amelia didn't ask me permission to perform a song with her own voice. I was upset that I was deprived of my last potential opportunity to contact Cover. But if you didn't have this context and you truly thought I was that delusional or petty, then it was easy to misconstrue the last tweet as well. The point of the last tweet was to push home the point that Cover only seems to respond to legal altercations, but I would never claim a Hololive livestream over something so stupid, and especially not a charity livestream. Unfortunately, it seems most people read the tweet completely backwards and assumed that I was threatening to take down the livestream. It was just a pointless tweet that served no purpose other than to satisfy me emotionally. Honestly, all 3 of those tweets were just me venting, but not many people had the context to understand what they meant or why I made them. And the tweets were enough to tarnish my reputation in a lot of people's minds, and I really didn't know how to handle the mistake back then. I realized that I'd already ruined the Holobase name to a lot of people, and I had it in my head that I could never recover. The realization that no one had been watching my update videos or understood my situation, and that my tweets were going to be spread to any website where Hololive fans gather, that I might have just ruined my reputation within not just the community but to Hololive itself. It was all too much. Holobase was ruined to me, and all of my videos were a sour reminder of my mistake to both myself and to everyone else. Rumors started spreading that I was a grifter who was only ever making Hololive music to make money. There were claims that I was anonymously defending myself on 4chan. Apparently there was even a huge fuss on the Hololive subreddit that day regarding the whole thing. So the last thing I did was publish a final update to the channel explaining that I was done with Holobase. It was a pretty tough day for me and an extremely confusing day to everyone else. Pretend that you didn't know anything about me or my situation, and one day you saw those tweets posted to Reddit. Without knowing the steps that led up to that situation, you'd probably think I was just a terrible person. Holobase uploaded his music to Spotify to make money. Cover eventually noticed and took the music down. Holobase spent months trying to contact Cover so he could get permission to make money off of their talents again. Amelia sang Pop on Rocks during a charity stream, and Holobase got mad because she was making money off his song without his permission. Same thing Holobase was doing in the first place, making money without Cover's permission. Holobase went on Twitter and threatened to take down the live stream like the hypocrite he is. A ton of people told him how irrational he was acting, so he deleted his Twitter thinking he could hide the dumb things he said and pretend like they never happened. He then took it a step further and wiped his whole channel and decided to run away. If only he just read the rules. I'm sure that there are still people who will forever assume that Holobase was just some money-hungry moron. They'll never hear my side of the story. I'm not totally innocent either. I made mistakes, but I learned from them. It's been a few months. I'm not going back to Twitter, so we don't have to worry about that again. And I'm not going to distribute my Holobase music anymore without Cover's permission. Cover, I'm still here. If you're watching, I'm on Discord. You can just hit me up whenever. There's my Discord tag. It's right there. If some of you watching still don't forgive me, then I don't really know what else I can say at this point. I've been getting back into Hololive this past month, and I really want to start releasing Holobase music again. So if you guys will let me move past everything that happened, then I would love to do that. I had to cut out a lot of details to keep this video short and focused, but if you have any questions about anything, then I'll try my best to answer as many as I can in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. See ya.